all of that.
Yeah.
So I was in a constant panic,
Okay.
constant worry that my qualifier will not make it the next day,
Right.
knowing that what he was doing was putting himself at risk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a constant just panic, and I didn't know how to get away from that. I didn't understand how to get off that roller coaster.
Right. Right.
And I was on that roller coaster, right, sitting next to my qualifier, up and down.
Yeah.
And it was a lot.
Can I ask a question?
Oh,
sorry.
Go
Jordan
ahead.
here. What's a qualifier?
Yeah. What's a qualifier?
so.
Thank you, Jordan.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I just assumed we all knew, but we don't. Go ahead.
So the group that I go with, Al-Anon.
I'm going to just pull this a little closer. Okay. Go ahead.
So the group that I attend, the Al-Anon meeting that I go to, and really all of Contra Costa, we identify our
like the person or like
person
that as a qualifier.
As a qualifier, opposed to an addict, or, we just say our qualifier.
Yeah.
There's a reason, and this is how we qualify to come into these meetings.
Right. And it makes it less about them and it makes it more about you, and it like removes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're not there to talk about that.
That's right.
About us. Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the things I learned early on with Al-Anon was that the whole purpose is to be able to be happy and have serenity, regardless if your qualifier is actively using.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I needed. I needed something because it wasn't working what I was doing. And so I started going to the meetings, and I learned quickly that it wasn't, okay, come here, read this, and now you're going to be able to fix everything. It doesn't work like that. You get to know, you don't fix anything.
Right.
Yeah. And that's part of the.
That's part
learning.
of it. It's like, yeah. I didn't. What is it? One of the Al-Anon. I didn't create it. I didn't.
Yeah, the 3 C's.
Yeah. What are the 3 C's? What are the 3 C's? There's like.
So
I can't control it.
Right. I didn't cause it, and I can't cure it.
Okay.
But there's a 4th C.
Ooh. What is it?
You can contribute.
Oh.
You contribute to the madness. You contribute to the problem.
Okay.
And that's what I was doing. I was totally contributing.
Yeah.
And I'm probably making things worse because of my craziness, right?
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to not do that. So another thing that Al-Anon taught me were the do and don'ts.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of those?
No, let's hear it.
Okay. So I actually wrote them down.
Oh, I love this. And you brought notes. You brought notes.
I'm always prepared. No, I'm only joking. I'm not always prepared. Yeah. Okay. But
let's see.
So the do's, right? I'm sorry, wait a minute, not the do's.
No, go ahead, take your time.
Okay, hold on. Where am I? Okay,
I see the do's on that side.
Do's. Okay, so do forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Do be humble. Do take it easy.
I'm gonna write these down. Go ahead.
Do play, recreation or some hobby.
Mm-hmm.
To keep trying whenever you fail.
Mm-hmm.
Do learn the facts about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Do attend Al-Anon meetings and do pray.
Okay.
So those are the do's.
Okay.
So the don'ts, when the first time I heard the don'ts, I'm like, I'm doing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be self-righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to dominate, nag, scold, or complain.
Okay.
Don't lose your temper.
Okay.
Don't try to push anyone but yourself.
Okay.
Don't keep bringing up the past. Don't keep checking up on your addict. Don't make threats that you're not going to carry out.
Okay.
And don't be overprotective, and don't be a doormat.
Okay.
So those don'ts hit me hard because I was doing
all of them. Yeah. Can I tell you what's really amazing about this? Is that I've been Al-Anon for a few years, and that's the first time I'm hearing that. Really? Because I don't go to meetings.
Oh, okay.
And the thing, I see there it goes. Okay, yeah. So I guess one thing I'm trying to say is thank you for that, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I joined Al-Anon.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. Were you going to say something?
Yeah. No, and then I was just going to say the other thing that really helped me was the slogans. Al-Anon has several slogans.
Yeah.
And the 2 that hit me the hardest was live and let live.
Okay.
And let go and let God.
Okay.
And that's what I needed to do. And that's what helped me to be able to breathe again. And then, of course, I had to bring in my higher power back because that's part of it. And so I think I feel better. And I do believe my qualifier feels better. We have a better relationship. But I needed to, I needed to pull back.
So I want to go back a little bit. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing all of that. I was thinking about, okay, so speaking for myself and like the way I grew up. So my grandmother who raised me is most certainly someone who could benefit from Al-Anon. I don't think that'll ever happen because she's 80. And you know, we can all start 12-step whenever, right? You could be 99 and do 12-step. But she just won't. Okay. That being said, I grew up in a household where my grandmother was the ultimate enabler, but I don't think she would ever look at it that way, right? So here's the scenario. My uncle has been addicted to heroin my entire life. I've talked about him on the show before. He's stolen from us. He's been in and out of prison, has created a lot of wreckage. My grandmother is the only person in our family, and we're a huge family, is the only person in our family who will let him stay over, who will feed him, who will give him money, who will, right, despite all this stuff, right? And so I grew up with a lot of that, right? And I, for the longest time, saw my mom as like, oh, she's empathetic and she's compassionate and she's so self-sacrificing. And this is what it looks like to love someone and to care about someone. All the while, like she was actually hurting herself. She was actually making things worse for him, right? So I'm wondering when we talk about kind of caring for someone, like at what point did you feel like, wait a minute, like this isn't compassion, this isn't empathy, I'm not caring, I'm actually hurting myself?
So I had I want to say like a mini meltdown.
Okay. I have big meltdowns all the time.
But it was
I'm having one right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, where it, a lot of things hit at the same time. And I really realized something had to change for me. And I felt like I was worse off than my qualifier.
Oh, interesting. Can you say like what was happening that made you feel like you were worse off?
I think I just couldn't focus on anything but my qualifier.